You're tuned in to Career Currency with Kareem Perez, a podcast for people who are interested in unlocking their potential and increasing their professional value. Here's your host, Kareem Perez.
Okay, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Another episode of the Career Currency Podcast, the podcast for marketing professionals, entrepreneurs who are looking to upskill, take their career to the next level, and learn from, some of the brightest and best minds in our city, in the world, in our industry. I'm your host, Kareem Perez, the marketing mentor. I'm here to take you on this journey today. And today we have a special guest, a visual artist, a social activist, and just a straight up Scarborough legend, you know what I'm saying? Welcome to the podcast, my brother, Mark Stoddart. Yo, I'm so happy to have you here, B.
Long overdue. We've been kind of arranging for this to happen, and now we're here. So I appreciate you for even asking me. So
yeah, brother.
No, give thanks. So
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's all about telling stories, right?
Yeah,
inspiring the people. So let's get it on.
Yeah, man. So let's start off with education, right? And I want to hear a little bit about your path, but I want to start with you just did a talk at one of the universities.
At TMU.
Yeah, TMU.
For Black History Month.
For Black History Month. So talk a little bit about that. What was the subject matter and what was the vibe of just like reaching the youth? And how important is that?
I have to admit, it was a great experience because normally February becomes heightened that you get called to do a lot of things for Black History Month, right? And so I try not to relegate myself for the month to be Black. We're Black every day, all day. So what was interesting with this situation was one of the sports coordinator or marketing, Nula. She reached out to me early November, and this is before February.
Right.
And she just went down this rabbit hole trying to find something to do something for Black History Month for the students because there was a kind of a unrest with the girls basketball team. They're very, very disappointed that they didn't get enough notoriety for Black History Month, and so the school needed to do better for the Black students. So again, Nula took it upon herself to kind of figure a way to give a different perspective for Black History Month. And so, like I said, she was searching for people, and I tell you, man, the internet, if you use it for the right ways,
right.
It's definitely you can source out the particular people that you want to work with. And she found me. She Googled. I don't know how she did it, but she figured who I was. She went to the website, and she just sent me a call. No, she sent me emails. You see, like, this doesn't make any sense. So I think it's a spam kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she said, like, we did our research. I think you're suited for this. If you can give me a call. And all of a sudden, we're here. This year, TMU was changed because it was Ryerson before.
Right.
And they had to go a total rebrand.
Change the name, yeah.
Change the whole name. And so for them to do that was a pretty bold statement, right? And their branding behind it is called Bold, right? TMU Bold. And so as a designer, you're always trying to align yourself in a way of how do you create something that works for both parties. And so when I found out that it was Bold, I took it upon myself to kind of build on that whole concept. And that's how I was able to play off the Bold, Beautiful, and Brilliant campaign.
Right.
And she gave me all total creative freedom, which is nice because sometimes you're kind of handcuffed when it comes to institutions, the way they want things to be.
Okay.
But she goes, no, I want you to be that person to kind of brand us, to tell us your story through our story.
Right.
And it was great because when I came with the idea, I had it as bold, beautiful, and Black. But I'm like, man, we already know we're Black. I don't need to emphasize that. I thought the brilliant is the key thing. And what was kind of the serendipitous kind of thing of what happened was I was working for another comrade of mine, General Steele from Smith & Wesson.
Right.
We did like a mini commercial, and then he set that as a tagline. that we talked about. I'm like, yo, it's supposed to be this way. And that was 2 years ago. And then to tie it into this, it was like it was for real. And I just kind of extended the concept and just building it through our beloved movement.
Right.
And going there and introducing myself who I was, the students, not just Black students, all students was representing Black History Month and wearing the shirt.
Okay, that's dope.
That was super dope.
That's dope.
The whole athletic department, from the hockey team, from the volleyball team, the women's basketball team, men's basketball team, everybody was wearing the shirts. So it was a full campaign throughout the month of February. And that doesn't really happen, right? So I was quite thankful for that. And then to do a keynote speak based on my journey as an artist and why they're wearing the shirt kind of gave it some more reality to it. Like it really, really stood out a little bit more than just a shirt. Because I create things with a meaning, right? And so having that indicated through that and allowing it to be there, it was cool. It was a good experience, to be honest. And again, the key thing is by doing it, building relationships.
Right,
I was able to have that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and even as you described it, I'm thinking that the relationship that got you in the building took care of some of the logistical elements of making things happen, getting people together, breaking, some of those barriers that you would usually find if you went in from the outside.
Most definitely. And to create an atmosphere like that, and then to know that you impacted them, especially the students for one, of course, right? But even the people that work there, they were totally amazed by that. And I guess for me, it's like, when you do things, how do you impact people, right?
Right.
What's the real result from everything? And I think I did my job in that part to continue that, and hopefully from that, more things can come from that, right?
Yeah. So can you talk about that a little bit? Like when somebody comes to you with an idea or an opportunity and you have to create, what's what are the things you consider that goes into your creative process, mindset-wise?
Energy. I'm always about that vibe, that feeling of what they're trying to do, or what they're trying to accomplish, and how I fit in to help them solve, because I'm a problem solver, right?
Right.
And so any projects that's come into my hand, I always try to take on. Like if it's something out of the realm of illustration, right? I'll still say I'll do it, but I'll find the resources of other people that can kind of tie in to fit that in, right? Like if for, say, video editing or something, I'll say I can do it, but I have my cousin.
Okay, right.
So I have a team of people that I can at least bring that work to them, right? So I don't try to say no. But again, the question was that when I hear the idea, and if something it needs the edge of something that's a different way of an audience to see it, I like those challenges, right? And I'm always up for that. But it's always about energy. It's all about seeing what that person's intentions are, what they're trying to create.
Right.
Because I'm putting my name on it as well, right? So I always look out for that.
So what does that look like? You have to spend time with the idea. You gotta, do you feel like as an artist, deadlines work against you, or you need more time?
You always would love the more time, but reality when it comes to a project, everything as it starts, they need it by tomorrow.
Right.
There's some unrealistic timelines, bro. I've been through some stuff, like some interesting timelines that they need it by tomorrow, and I'm like, I have to design it, or if it needs to be printed, all those things, those factors, you need a couple more days. But no, but we need it for this. But if they're gonna pay for it, then I'll make it happen. And there's been some incidents it's some unrealistic timelines, but as I'm able to pull it off, and then even now doing it, the clients are even more happy. But then I'm don't expect that to happen all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just doing you a favor because I think that you guys needed it at that time. There's some urgency behind it, and I'll do it. But I try not to get caught up in that. You say that because I thought of a show that I was involved with. You know that TV show The Boys?
Yeah.
That's on Amazon.
Yeah.
So Mother's Milk, the Laz is the actor for Mother's Milk.
Right.
And so all the shirts that he's been wearing, I've been creating that for him.
Okay.
And so it's all hip hop oriented. So I love it because the concept, because it's his the character is a guy that's definitely a man who loves hip hop. So every shirt that he's wearing is a unique hip hop emblem that he's wearing. And so they come to me to reproduce the same logos, but producing it for his size of his shirt, right? But then the turnaround time is sometimes it's unrealistic. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it's a great opportunity, right? Because again, as an artist, to put their name that you're involved in something like that is pretty big. So I'm not trying to drop that ball. I'm like, if they need it by tomorrow, I'm going to figure a way to make it done.
Yeah.
But I'm hopefully sometimes to give me a little bit more grace to get things done. But it is what it is. It's
Well,
the
like you
nature of
said,
the
you're the problem solver, right? So
gotta figure it out, bro.
the problem is time based, and you gotta figure out a way to.
Yeah, and in this industry, as much as you would want 2 weeks turnaround time, sometimes that shit. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You just gotta figure it out. Just figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that. But let's take it back, right? I want to take it back to, maybe high school, after high school days, getting into post secondary, somewhere around there. But like, did you know you were going to be an artist? Were you always doing art in school when you were younger?
Yeah.
And how much of that part of your art is hip hop based? Because you mentioned hip hop. So
yeah, man. Wow, we're going down memory lane.
Yeah,
This is when I throw this thing, people start aging me. But 89 was probably the genesis of where everything started from. And when I say that, you can remember Carnival, Caravana, 89 on University, that it wasn't on the Harborfront at that time.
Right.
And no gates, open on University that you come up
pure whips on the street.
Before the whips, but that's even before that. It's like just the community as a whole on University. Like you can just see the energy of again, organic community is people celebrating a moment on that day, and it was a beautiful time. I guess I'm thinking about it now. Like you can definitely, the nostalgia of that it's been phenomenal. So I remember that year, high school, a group of my friends, we called ourselves the Brotherhood, and I'm like, we all had nicknames, and I said to myself, let me just create a shirt that will stand out and be memorable for all of us when we put it on. And so my first T-shirt design was the T'Challa from the Black Panther.
Right.
So I had an image of him with the continent of Africa behind him. And then our side had the Brotherhood, and then in the back, all of our nicknames. And when we came out of the university subway system all the way outside, insert celebrities, bro. It was insane because you see a group of men, brothers, coming out looking uniformed, but looking good kind of thing. And then the reaction from that put a spark in my head, like, I can keep doing this. I can create more shirts the same way and get that same kind of impact. I think that was my dopamine at that time. Like, seeing the reaction of something I put out on a shirt, on a canvas like that, got that bug in me, like, I got to do more of that. And so from that came out the whole Brotherhood design of more shirts at that time. But you got to think about that era of 89 to 90 when hip-hop was happening. You had, like, Tribe. You had, like, KRS-One. You had, like, Public Enemy. You had, like, Poor Righteous Teachers. You had Rakim. You had this era of music or storytelling that revolutionized the way we think and how we dressed. So you wanted to be a part of that whole thing. So the way we looked, the way we were thinking, it was insane. It was insane. So my knowledge of self at that time, I just yearned it. I just wanted more of that, and that led me to go to college. I went to Sheridan College, and did my 4 years of illustration design, and that opened my doors away, right? And traveling to New York, you get influence from that. There's so many things that was happening to me that was totally shifting my trajectory where I wanted to do it. And you really got me thinking here.
So what about like at Sheridan? Was it smooth sailing, or did you have?
No, not even.
So talk about like, maybe some. Did you ever think about this ain't for me, or even environment wise?
It wasn't, because I applied to OCAD, but at that time there was not too many Black people, right, in that school, and the way it looked, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me, and I knew Sheridan was totally Oakville, out of Scarborough, I needed that at that time. Things were shifting and things I was getting caught up in certain things. I needed to get away.
Right.
So it was the right move for me. But just to know that one of my other three loves that I have with A's is athletics, of course, activism, and art.
Love that.
Like that's pretty much, I'll never waver from that. That's always been who I was, never really changed. And I still stuck to that. And with Sheridan, again, there was art and there's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So
you played ball there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I played for Sheridan.
All 4 years?
No, I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't do it. Oh, because my first year, I got there, we won nationals.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, we won the whole thing.
Sick
So you think about that. Leaving school and the thing about me was that my last year in Scarborough, I went to Cedar Brae and I played for the Scarborough Mayor at that time.
Right.
I know it doesn't exist anymore, but played well, had a good game, and got some good recognition from that. And right into Sheridan, and then winning nationals.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally so you think you're on this high, but
Right.
the thing about that, you think you're the guy on the block because you did in high school and you come to college. This guy's even better than you.
Right.
So I didn't get my spot. I had to earn my spot again, and it was challenging because you always thought that I was that guy.
Right.
But nah, man. But what I learned from that was the camaraderie you have with the brothers that you work. Like up to this day, I'm still good with these guys.
Mm.
And this building that friendship, that brotherhood was amazing for me. And winning nationals with them together and having your name on the. So you go to Sheridan, you see your name up on the rafters, on the banners. Your name's there. That's legacy right there, bro.
For real.
Like it's insane. So my first year did it. Second year, played, got to play more, but the reality of it, my grades were dropping, and it was dropping pretty bad. And I'm like, basketball's not really gonna take me anywhere, man. So I had to make a choice. So my second semester, I quit playing basketball and just stuck with my grades and just graduated through Sheridan. So yeah, I give thanks on that one. I always think like, man, maybe I could have went a little bit further, but nah, it's nothing. Toronto, you can go and do so much when you're here for basketball. At that time,
Yeah, it's different now.
it's different now. But yeah,
But I think like the key thing, what you're talking about there, is the decision making, right? And
Yes.
like sacrifice. I mean, like you said, it could have been different on the basketball side, but that would have made it different on the art side too.
most definitely something
You
had
know
to
what I
go.
mean?
My two loves, something had to give, right? But purpose again. You think about this, and again, it's just, as we're just talking, it's a full circle moment. Like I'm still able to use that same. Like I always say for some guys, like you're so competitive, but how do you take that energy and apply it to something that you can create a currency, like something that you're passionate about, right? So I just took that basketball mentality and applied it to my arts, right?
Right.
That's the whole thing. If guys can actually, out of retirement, not playing basketball, can apply to say coaching or mentoring, that's all what needs to happen, right? Shift the whole idea of what you think you want to play the game, but share it with somebody else is important. But again, the full circle moment, I'm able now to go back to Sheridan and teach as a professor. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's pretty surreal, right? As an art teacher, but still giving the passion about using the things that you love and applying it to something you want to be a storyteller to. So, yeah, it's wow. I'm just taken back as we were just talking about. Yeah, it's like the choices that we make, right?
Right. Yeah, the pathway. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's talk about. You mentioned community a lot, right? And you mentioned, bringing together the boys for Caravana with the shirts. Just bringing together the community of the school.
Yeah.
And I noticed in a lot of your work, I feel like community is very important to you.
Most definitely.
Can you talk about what you think we're missing as a community, a Black community specifically, but just like since COVID and some of the in-person connection?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. Let me say one thing. Like I love my community. I love Scarborough. I think there's a lot that's happening. There is a shift, especially when it comes to the youth of Scarborough. There's a youthful energy that, as an OG it's beautiful because it keeps us young, right? Keeps us vibrant, keeps us relevant, right? And to be part of that, it's an amazing high, and especially with these young men and women, it's an interesting feeling when I think about that. But I'm always of service, always of
Right.
service. Like Mother Teresa said, the best place to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So I feel that if I can give back or pay it forward through my pitfalls, and kind of give some insight to somebody's younger, so they don't have to go through the same thing I went through, I think I'm doing my job. And so when I align myself with a young organization called Rise, Randella J is the actual CEO of that. And when we met, we just clicked. We just clicked, and I knew that this is the person I can kind of lend who I am as a person, and then give my knowledge to, and just to see where he is now, and our relationship, it's been phenomenal. And just to see the growth of Rise and how it's able to bring the community, especially young youth, together.
Right.
For after this year is going to be their 12th anniversary of consistency, of really impacting the community and bringing people together in a safe space. And like I said, being a part of that is great. It's great to make this community better. I think it has to be a way how we can bridge us more, instead of more bridges, less walls. Like really bring a way how we could bring people that are older and younger together in a space, and figure out how can we kind of coexist, right? I think based on COVID, like you said, I think everybody's so isolated. Everybody's still in different pods, right? How do we kind of bring something that brings totality of everybody together, and how we can kind of work through things, especially as us as a Black community? It needs to be a better way of doing that. I see other communities doing it, culturally doing it, right? But then again, it's a cultural understanding, because we're so diverse, right? And I just feel that we just had to find ways to actually be truthful to where we are, and how we can kind of improve on that, right? And reinvesting in our community.
Reinvesting, yeah. Yeah, I think that's such a key word, because even reinvesting time and energy, right? And just knowledge sharing,
Sure, big time.
like you mentioned. So that's actually a very interesting answer, because I feel like that's a huge opportunity for us to close the generational gap, right? There's so much, the youth have the energy and the ideas, but a lot of that work has been done, and we need to pick up where it left off versus trying to start from scratch, you know?
But that's aligning with the right people, like how myself and Randall connected, right? There should be more of that, right? And I feel that there's no cookie color formula behind that. I just feel that you just got to find the people that you think that's important, and you feel you can lend a hand of service again, of helping them through that. I think that's crucial, right? And it doesn't have to be a line, it has to be my son or my cousin.
Right.
It could be somebody off the street that has potential. You got to hold their hand and bring them forward, kind of thing, right? That's what mentorship is all about.
Right. Well, that's what I'm going to ask you, is would you consider that mentorship?
But it's mentorship both ways. Because
both ways.
It's not one way of like father, son, you listen to what I'm saying kind of thing, right? But there's something about that level of sharing information, right? And I think that when it's organic, I think you can't stop it. It's supposed to be that way. And then again, I don't know, there's no blueprint to it, but I think we have this moral compass that we don't use as we should, and just follow our intuition to know that when you know something that's right, follow suit. I think we just have these blinders on sometimes.
Yeah, for real. So what do you think the blinders are? You think it's trying to over-define?
No, I think blinders are distractions. I feel that we are about this me complex sometimes, and it's all about our devices and in our own world and our own lane, right? Not knowing there's a bigger world of other people that we need to be more open to helping, right?
Interesting.
But we're just in our own self of just taking care of me, and it shouldn't be about you, right?
Do you think that's where burnout comes in, because you're trying to do too much, where if you were just building with the community, you would get that support?
You get more support.
Yeah.
But again, it's almost that trust. Like, when you collaborating or building with people, it's a hard one. Like I've done it, but there's something in the magic when you find the people who get you and you get them. Like nothing stops, man. And I'm seeing it now because there's people who I'm able to align with, and they don't question nothing. They're like, yeah, whenever you're ready, let's make it happen, right?
Right.
And I don't take that for granted, right? And I'm appreciative of that. But I think you just gotta. I don't know. It's a weird way. It's an honest question. That it's weird but it's there. You just gotta manifest it, man. Manifestation is a beautiful thing when you actually apply it in the right way.
So, but as an OG in your experience, right? Because you obviously come with a lot of knowledge and experience to give back and share, especially through your teaching and
of course.
everything. But what are some of the reciprocal mentorship that you get? Like, what do you find yourself learning from your relationships and others
with younger people? You mean?
Yeah, with younger people. Because you mentioned they have that energy.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's just technology. Like, it's fun. Like, I look at myself, like, even with my parents, like, now they're getting, I see, like, again, I guess I'm just, don't want to say I'm old there, but when I look at my parents and now they're just sending emails or they have their tablets and stuff like that, right? You're like, whoa. Right. And we have to show them that, right? At our age, because it's the technology. And then, so there's a new wave of what's going on that I'm not, I don't want to know, but they give me the level of being vulnerable for me to learn from them, right? Like even Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I get it, but I don't know, and I'll be honest, like I don't know how to reinvest that properly. But having somebody who can come in that give me the insight of that a little bit more, I'm more open to hearing about it. I'll take it in, right? But that's one aspect, but that's just for me.
That's good, yeah.
But there's a lot of things that the younger generation have that I don't have, and that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
And so again, my experience is lived experience that I can give back, and there's this youthful energy that they're more brave to do it, whatever.
Yeah, for real.
Right, and I like that because you got to gamble in life sometimes, man. And so, but with some wisdom behind that as well, of course.
No,
I don't know if I answered the question, but it's just
that's good, man. Yeah, you did a couple of times, I think. Technology.
Oh yeah.
So what's your what's your adoption level with technology? You like it? You don't like it?
It's a love-hate in a way.
Okay.
But it's not going nowhere. Like technology is what it was when the internet came in.
Right.
And when it wasn't, it was something that people feared, but you had to learn it, right?
How do you think it's changing the art space?
Oh shit. AI is definitely kicking some ass on a lot of things, man. But I always say is that these machines can create anything, but it has no soul. It has no heart. It can build that stuff that looks nice, but what's the intention behind that? Like everything looks clean and nice, but you still need hands. You still need to take that and create something in a way that's tangible, that when somebody looks at it on a wall, they know that that's been fully created in a way that somebody did it. AI gives you this superficial, clean cut. It may look nice on IG as a small pixel, but when you blow that bad boy up and you're like, whoa, this is the same thing I saw so small off my phone, but when you see it bigger, it doesn't have the same weight. But as an artist, when you see something that is scalable from something small to something big, but still holds the same weight, and that's from the heart, that's soul.
Right.
And I don't think AI doesn't have that yet. So, but the problem is the consumers. They don't care.
They don't care or they don't know? They can't tell the difference?
It's a little bit of both. I think they do know because they see it. They see what true art is. It's not, it hasn't left us, right?
Right.
But the level of the getting it right off the bat, like you don't have to wait for it. It's there.
Instant gratification.
Oh, big time. And it's yours, right? They don't care about the quality of what it is. They just know that they got it.
Right.
Right? And that becomes more of a entitlement kind of thing. And so it's not working hard for it. So that technology is shifting things. Like you're getting things quickly, and then you're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So does it really have value? So, like I said, I'm on the fence of it because it definitely enhances things. It challenges. It allows us to, as artists, as creators, gives us more options of seeing things that you couldn't get efficiently. Like creatively trying to put things in your thoughts or make these mood boards. AI can shift to help you kind of push yourself a little bit more, right? So it becomes a sidekick that you would normally sit at the table with other artists. This is your artist here that kind of helps you build things out. Right. So if you're using it the right way, I think it's a great thing, right? But if you're using it to cut corners to get through something, that's when I kind of question it, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm with it, and it's not going nowhere. It's here, so you got to learn how to understand it. That's the one thing is, it's like I said, it's the new thing. It's the new internet. It's the new big thing, big time.
And yeah, so like kind of continuing on technology is social media. So what's your thoughts on the impacts of social as like addictive platform?
It is. I think we all have it because we all have phones.
Yeah.
Right. But if you use it with the right intentions, that's what I'm saying. Like, I look at, like we talk about Instagram. I think of it like how I do it is like my photo album.
Right.
And I look at it, I'm telling a story. And I'm intentional how I'm telling my story. And it's consistently telling my story. And I really want people, I may not get 1,000 followers, but I'm not worried about that. I just want the people who are following or impacted by whatever I post and grow it that way and slowly. I don't need no 10K or 20K. It'd be nice, but if it's not engaging with the right people, those numbers don't really mean anything, right? And so if people are intentional on what they're posting and are not caught up in the wow factor of things and that dopamine, that people want that high, the feeling, that, like you said, the gratification. Oh, I got how much people liking it, and they're feeling good. And then the day they don't get nobody, they feel down. So you're relying on that to get you that high, and that's a problem, right? And so, not for me, but I'm thinking about the next generation of people who rely on that to get them through their day. And I think that's a problem. So we need to kind of shift that and give them something with more purpose for somebody. Like they need to put this photo up and Photoshop it in a way that it's them in a way. It's troubling when it comes to the next generation of young people, right? But as long as we can kind of help them through that, maybe that can be an interesting way of shifting things. But I don't know. I enjoy it. I think it has full potential, man, if you use it in the right way. Anything you pick up has potential.
Yeah,
you just gotta be mindful that it can get you one way or get you the opposite way. Yeah.
Dope, man, dope. So yeah, let's talk about a little bit more about your work. And so, what are some of your funnest projects? What are some of those dope work that like people that you worked with that you're like, yo, I did that. Like, I know you had the MLSE stuff. I know.
Yeah.
You know.
I think probably my interesting project that as a collective, we talk about community and how you realize your value when you make that ask for people to be a part of something, and you know the people don't question it, they're just down with that. And so when COVID happened and I lost my cousin due to a colon cancer. And thank you. But that is the genesis of, if you've been watching like my whole flowers campaign. I really wanted to find a way to honor him, but at the same time honor people that are still here and still living, and letting them know that I appreciate them, that I love them, and I acknowledge them. So the passing of my cousin, I reached out to Randall. Again, these are relationships that I have. There's no no's within when it comes when I make for my ask.
Right.
They may say, like we talked about timelines of when can they get done, right? Yeah. But I'm all about the spirit of when it feels right, you'll make it work. And so Randy lost his aunt, was technically his mother at that time when he was living in Ghana. took care of him, and he had an opportunity to see her at the time when he was in Ghana, but he didn't do it, and she transitioned.
Right.
So through our experience of grief, I told him that we need to do something in a way that helps us through this, in a way that we can help other people who are going through this. And so with that collaboration, we did flowers, man.
Yeah,
you know, when you create something, you never realize it's bigger than you,
yeah,
and it becomes timeless. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was something that when we did it and we created it, I did the treatment to how I wanted to present it. And it's a beautiful piece. When you hear it, you fall in love with it. It's when you play it, even now when people have lost somebody and we play that, you can see the emotion when people hear it. It's one of those wake-up calls that you have to act now and reach out to people that you care about. So when we did that, that time, you never know. Again, we talk about technology. This is how I was able to meet Smith & Wesson. And Instagram's a beautiful thing again.
Right.
I've been following him because I'm a fan of the boom bap hip hop at that time. From time. So when I saved him on Instagram, following him, I ain't trying to slide in nobody's DM kind of thing, but he made a comment to something and I responded to that comment and he responded back to the comment. So I realized when that happens, you have an ability now to be in his feed without waiting or something. I know it's no in comments you can get a way of actually person can able to see who you are.
Right.
And so from that, I sent another note to tell him to check his DM, and he did. And I had, as business, as a strategy, always have this kind of framework of what you want to say and how you want to kind of reframe it to somebody else. So I had this whole script, tell him who I was as a business. That's whole elevator pitch that you have.
Right.
Told my business, who I was, what I'm trying to do, be great to align with him. And I love to send him a care package. Sometimes these celebrities, you never know, because they probably get 1,000 of them all the time.
Right.
But within that time, he goes, yo, here's my information, send it. So, you know, because I've done it many times, I sent packages to many people, a lot of celebrities.
Never heard back, or?
Of course.
Right.
No, man, like, you're waiting. All you ask is like, can you give me a photo or something? It doesn't happen.
Right.
Man, I could tell you stories of people, man.
For real.
But this one was a general, but it's it was a great opportunity because he got the package, he wore it for the first time. He sent me a note because he loves it. He wore it for one of his commercials he did or something like that, and organically we just built this relationship. So when he starts following me, he realized I was doing this whole flowers campaign. He goes, bro, I want to come. I go, what do you mean you want to come? Like, I want to come to Toronto and support what you're doing. So in my head, what's the catch? Like, do I have to fly you in? Like, I don't got that. It's not in my budget. I'm just trying to do this kind of thing. He goes, no, I'm coming. Don't worry about all that. I just want to show support. So I'm like, oh, I said, okay. So the universe is a beautiful thing. This is crazy to me as I'm thinking about this. So there was a delay on the flight, and he said, letting me know, I don't know if I can make it, bro. I don't know.
Oh, for real? Eh?
Yeah. This is the day of coming down for the whole video shoot. But then his wife, she's a director. She does films and everything else. She was on set onto another show in Washington at that time. And then I have a friend that was on set there. And the only reason why they connected or understood that there is a camaraderie between the both of them, that she was wearing one of my shirts that she had.
Oh, for real? Eh?
Yeah. So what's the irony of that, knowing that
right.
our husband can't make it to Toronto, but knowing that when I get the text, like, I saw somebody that you may know. And I'm like, wow. So I just knew that something's going to happen. Something positive is going to come from that.
Right.
So finally, from now, I say that just to know that the universe is kind of aligning, like things are going to go your way. You just got to be patient kind of thing. That's why I look at it as. And so he got onto the flight. He came. We did the video of the flowers at a funeral gallery, at a funeral home. And the reason why I wanted to do that, because the only time men get flowers is only at funerals.
Yeah, for real.
And I'm like, I want to keep the same essence that I'm giving you flowers, but you're alive when I'm giving you your flowers. And that was the whole genesis from that. And Steele was there on the in the quiet as kept, but he was there. But people who knew who he was, and like, whoa, what was going on? What's this whole connection coming behind all this? And it was a magical moment. Like everybody was there, like Jay Martin, Sherman Hamilton, my other good friend Patrick Williams, Randall, of course. There was a lot of influence of Black Men. Tony, Master T was there, Donald McLeod, and so just having those brothers who I have these relationships. Like we talked about relationships earlier.
Yeah.
It's when I make that ask, they have no problem in coming and supporting me. So I really, really recognize that, and I don't abuse that. But it was something in the way that's what I wanted to do, and they came to support that. I know I have some kind of reverence that people see me and they want to be a part of what I do. So that was important for me to know. And from that, it just grew into other opportunities, like for colon cancer. Everything, how honoring my cousin, I'm just trying to pull that in to keep his legacy alive. I'm just bringing it in the right way of just honoring, our community, like we talk about, be a service, at the same time, honoring the people that are here and honoring people who are not here, that, like, we stand on the shoulders of giants, right? I want to honor them in a way that I'm still preserving their legacy, right? So I don't know if I'm just rambling with this whole thing,
that's
but,
deep,
but
man. You're hitting it, bro.
I just want to know that there's two things, like my mentor used to say, not used to say, he still says up to this day, Dr. John Carlos, two things that are guaranteed in life: the day that you're born and the day that you transition. It's that dash, that mark.
Right.
How do you want people to remember you by, right? What are the things you're going to impact people's lives with, right? And I take that to heart. Like, every day when you wake up is a blessing. Like, so what do you do with that time that you have, right? And make impact. And every day that I always try to do, like, if it's communicating to somebody, letting them know that they appreciate it. If it's going to school and teaching somebody, like, whatever that is, I just try to do my part, right? Leaving my mark, like my real name. Right?
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
The double entendre of poetry.
Yes, sir. What do you do when you're down to get up?
That's a good question. Interesting enough, I like silence. I like quietness. I like to be in a surreal kind of a space to recharge. Right. Because I need that. So when I really I try not to get down.
Yeah.
It's like, we're creators, man. So every day, this frequency that we're on,
right. It's
something,
true.
I have to do something. I can't sit around. It's something I have to get my hands on, man. So, but there's moments, but I find a good quote. I'm a quote freak. Like, every Thursday I post quotes all the time, right? I'm consistent with that.
Nice.
And it's just exchanging that kind of energy. I always just try to find positive energy somewhere just to fuel me. Right. So not to get down.
I mean, that's why I brought it up, because, everything that you're talking about in terms of like the flowers campaign and the energy, and just like, one of the biggest things that I've taken from you is reaching out to people, because you always say that, don't wait, reach out, reconnect, like, and that's big for me, because I feel like I've lost touch with a lot of people,
right?
Whether it's through just life, different situations, location, or whatever. So I feel like I get a lot of that from your content, and
appreciate that.
I think it's important, it's an important reminder.
And like you said, how do we make the community better? Like, we got to build bridges, not walls. Like,
right. How
do you break these olive branches of peace that I'm bringing you here to get a different experience? I think us as a community, we play it safe by doing safe projects, right? Like, we already know, like, hey, we're going to the club, we're going to a basketball game, we're doing all the regular things it's like we're on autopilot. It's a part of our routine all the time, right? I'm trying to shift that narrative, man. I'm trying to give you a different experience, something in a way that when you come, you're going to be impacted by this, right? And so I think as creators, we got to kind of push the bar a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I think the people will come if you just give them something that it can be something that they can be appreciative of, right? And I think that's one thing that I'm challenging myself. I need to create an event that's going to create a different experience. something that is still people are familiar with, of course, right? Because you got to spoon feed people the way they need to.
Right.
But when they get into that room, nah, you're not gonna get the same thing you've been seeing. You get the things that you're comfortable with seeing, like people. But when you come in there, it's like you're on a roller coaster. I want to bring you somewhere that you're gonna be going up and down those turns. That you're like, I didn't see it like this. Like whatever that is, I would love to try to build that up and then come back do it again with and some other way of a flair to it, right?
Right.
So
right.
I think the stuff I've been doing, people are seeing it. There's conversation that's happening. It's just now how do I kind of pull all those things I've been doing and put them into a space that we can all kind of celebrate it together.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah, that's the technology that I want, like bringing people to a space that they can experience a different kind of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't know what that looks like, but just the feeling of what I want to do.
The cookout, man.
But even when
yeah.
what you're doing, like that's amazing to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just the way it's packaged, it's not forced on you, and it creates that curiosity that you need to be. You're missing out. You're missing out on that food. Then again, that food for thought. Like you're giving knowledge in that sense. You know what I mean? And so, I think. And the connection you're having, and it's a youthful energy that's in that space.
Right.
I see it, and so you just got the game of this industry is consistency, man. If you're not on that level, that you're not doing it in the way that's really sincere, and you're just doing it for the dollar, right? Then you're on the wrong track. You gotta do something without it's not money reflected. If you do it with purpose that you're doing it, the money will come. I promise you that.
No, I agree, and I think like thinking about that impact and what you want people to get out of the experience more than I just want people to come so I can charge at the door and make an X amount or whatever. But what's important too of what you're saying and what I'm taking from you is, and the reason I mentioned the cookout is that again pushing the envelope, right? Like. How do we get those untold stories to the forefront or those unheard conversations to the forefront in those scenarios where we're, being safe or like doing the status quo, you know? Like how do we switch it up and bring stuff to the forefront that's not usually like taboo or not really like, again, like the health conversations and some of that stuff, right?
I think it aligns with the sponsorships. I think we got to repackage because again, you can't. As much as we have these great ideas and we love what we want to do,
right.
So you still got to feed the people, man. You got to feed ourselves in a way of sustaining it, right? Again, there's grants you can apply for and stuff like that. But I think that with grants, that you get so accustomed of getting these grants, and when it cuts dry and there's no more, how do you sustain yourself? How do you keep it going? So. Finding the right investors or companies that have money or funding to it that they want to align themselves with what you're doing is key. I think that's important. And I haven't done it yet, but this business is flowers. I'm looking for sponsors. Anybody would like to help towards it, I'm all welcome for that. But at the end of the day, you just got to align yourself with the right organizations, institutions that stick to your philosophy too, right? You just don't want somebody just for the bag and then they start compromising your intentions, what you wanted to do in the beginning, because you're getting the money now, you have to change it to what they want. No. They have to follow in suit to what you're trying to do, right? So just finding the right type of teams of businesses that need to be a part of this is important. But you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't. It's not. I haven't seen it. You need people on board, and that means people who have the finances to help build that out for you.
Yeah, you need the money to do it right.
The way you want to do it. And I think with that, the people will come on top of that. But I'm not, regardless, you still got to do it.
Right.
You guys, regardless, it'd be nice, but at the same time, it
has to be done.
Yeah, regardless. And it's that sweat equity, man. It's that blood, sweat, and tear. Like we do it, and we will take our own money to do it.
Right.
Unfortunately, and we just, the way we do it, hopefully the community sees it, that they support that. So you can keep it going for the next time around, right? That's the key thing. You're doing something in the way that, again, you do these events, you have to charge at the door because that helps pay for everything else, right?
Right.
Because you can't do it for free. Else you're going to be broke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta get to do it. The people come to support it, but in a way they don't feel that they're being gypped or feeling that they're getting exploited. But it has to be something is exchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't know.
Dope, man.
It's a tough one, but you know it. You know how it is. Like you want everybody there, but not everybody's gonna come because they'll come with the most ridiculous excuses or something.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it is
Cool,
what
man.
it is.
So yeah, so let's we talked a lot about legacy, right? And
Yeah.
we talked about Scarborough. So talk to me about solidifying your legacy in the city and
Yeah,
getting the star.
Yeah.
Man. Scarborough Town Center. That's big. Congratulations, bro.
Appreciate that. This is the kind of gets when this airs.
What's that? Well,
but
it'll be known.
I have to say that I'm thankful. I'm honored. Again, community stepped up. I made the ask. I put it out there. What made it more believable for me was before me was Randall got his, right? So it gave me more permission to let my light shine a little bit more, of knowing that I was with him to see him get that I think it's my time now, right? And so to be together for that, and then for him to get his, and then I get mine right behind him, I think that's surreal.
That's dope.
It's really real dope. I think it's a great legacy piece there that we can have stapled on that in Scarborough. I put the work in, man. I don't ask for much. I just keep doing what I do best, connecting people and telling the right stories that needs to be told. And people see it because that was the ask. I asked everybody if they will love to support me on this journey to get this star, and the response was amazing. People did it. Again, I don't ask for much, but when I do, people don't question. They come through to do it for me. So I'm appreciative of that, and I don't abuse that, right? And so now to celebrate with the people who will show up on that day, it's going to be magical, right? I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'll think of something. But it will all line up with legacy, like you said, right?
Yeah.
I think
who
important.
Who would you think?
Ooh.
Who would you consider some of your mentors or guides over the years, like key?
Wow, you're gonna put me under the bus here. Like, there's so many names I can throw out, but again, first up, it has to be my family, right?
Of course, yeah.
They've done so much for me to where I am, right? This is support of the community, man. It's
collective.
It's so crucial for me, right? Because that's my fuel. That's my fuel. Like, the only reason why I do what I do is because it's for them, right? It's weird. Like, I'm so much of service to that, and so to know that I'm getting it, but I'm getting it for them, right? It's arts and culture that I'm getting it for, right? And so whatever I create is for them, and them to see that what they wear, like my clothing, right? Is live it, wear it, right?
Right.
Like you gotta. I think reality in life that we just exist, just going through the motions of things, right? But when do you start living? Like, when do you start really doing the thing that you love to do?
Right.
When do you find that we talked about the energy exchange? Like, when do you find that child within you and have that playful moment of just doing things that you never thought you would do, right?
Right.
We lose that child. Like, we run away from that child, or we hide that child. Bring that child back out. Like really celebrate that child and do something with that. I think that's what I'm trying to do. I want people, like I said, to start living and start wearing it, wearing your truth. Like, let people see what you're about. I mean, don't be afraid of that. So if I can be a beacon of that, of a living example of that, I want other people to kind of follow suit. That's my blueprint, right? That's my legacy. Like, this is bigger than me. Like, whatever I'm creating, I'm leaving it here, right? And hopefully that's the blueprint for somebody to kind of follow. Again, I'm a quote guy. There's a quote that I love is from Indigenous artist. Tell me the facts and I will learn. Tell me the truth and I believe, but if you tell me a story, it'll live in my heart forever.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, like, you got the facts. I gave you the truth of what's going on, right? But now it's how you tie those stories that impact people to remember you by. that's legacy. That truly is. And
That's dope, brother. That's dope. Well, congrats again. And yeah, I'm happy to be there to witness.
oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. I wanted to just really touch on one more thing, which was health, right? And how do we stay healthy, man? How do we bring this conversation to the forefront? What's your feeling around men's health and the conversations you've been having? What are some of the takeaways?
One of the takeaways that I'm getting, even a good friend of mine, she reached out to me because they've been seeing the posts I've been doing, because this month is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. And she's been trying to get her husband to go get checked. And I think where the issue lies as men, especially black men, we don't have the space or to be vulnerable to even have these discussions. We have this facade that we want to be this masculine men, that we're good. We're always good. We're not always good, man. And I think if we can create a space that we can actually have these honest discussions and ask our brother, yo, when's the last time you went to a doctor? When was the last time you went to a physician to actually look about what's going on with yourself? And some men will say no, right? And so I take that upon myself as a problem that I need to kind of step forward to show my side that I'm okay with that, and I want to show you that I can do it. If I can do it, I think you can do it. But it all starts with a simple conversation, right? And you may get it with a one-on-one, but I think when it's a group collective of men, that's going to be the interesting thing. And that's what I'm trying to do. Like, it's important because we're losing our brothers. We are losing our brothers quite quickly. And we need to figure a way how we can kind of slow that down, really, really slow down. So it all comes down with an honest conversation and get them checked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, really get checked.
Yeah. Very important, man.
It is important. Honestly, and why, like I said, losing my cousin, that's really changed me. And from that, I got checked, right? Because it's for me, it's in our family. So I had to really look upon myself to say, I got to look, because I'm not trying to lose in that way based on that illness. I didn't know, and I didn't take care of myself.
Right.
No, I'd be more of a hypocrite to this thing. So if I can do it, I'm thinking everybody. It's one of those conversations I ask every brother that I have. I ask them that same question. Yeah, it's needed. It's truly, truly needed.
That's dope, bro. All right, brother. Well, yo, man, so much knowledge. Yo,
we did our time. It's over an hour.
Yeah, we did our time, man. Talked about education, legacy, mentorship, health, community. I feel like there's some ideas brewing out of this conversation of things that could come to life, especially on the event side.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with that, brother.
And on the design side, because we've been looking for like a T-shirt or some design to go with the event.
Okay, for the cookout.
Yeah, because we never really had anything
Really?
like that. Yeah.
You have no, okay.
The concept was born last year, so now I'm thinking back, like we never had a staple to remember it.
Okay. No, I'm down to help. Whatever.
But
I
yeah,
can.
but yo, bro, I appreciate the conversation, and I feel like this could be the first of a few.
I can
you know
sense
what I'm
that
saying?
already.
So I really appreciate your time, but I do want to finish with just a couple questions, more on the casual side.
Cool.
What's your favorite podcast or book, or I guess form of entertainment?
Well, I will say the Tech and Effect is a perfect
Okay,
podcast to
the
promote.
Tech Effect. Yeah,
I have to say this is a nice environment. I think that I look forward to see you bringing more hosts into this space. But book, I would say is one of the favorite book that I try to read once a year. I think it's crucial for anybody who wants to manifest their dreams. The author is Pablo Coelho.
Okay.
It's The Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short read, it's a short fable, but when you really master the idea of alchemy, when you read this book, you can see in yourself that you can create anything you want to become by reading that book. But the goal by reading that book is to, when you get it, when you read it, you have to give it to somebody else. It's not for you. You got to pay it forward to somebody else.
Okay.
Allow them to get the knowledge from that book. Right. That's the goal.
Dope.
So yeah.
What about app? What's your favorite app, or what's your favorite like software technology that you like to use?
Ooh, software. But I use like all the time, like with Adobe, right?
Yeah.
So, as an artist now, like I'm getting used to now using Procreate.
Okay.
And that's the artist tablet that you can actually do your illustrations in. Right. Instead of using Illustrator or Photoshop, you can actually tap into that. So yeah, that's the new technology that is quite. I was a rebel too. I was like, nah, I'm not touching this.
Yeah,
digital. Oh yeah. I was not.
So was that like digital drawing? Then?
Yeah. That's all it is. But I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to. But you can. It's nice. If you know what you're doing with it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what I find. If you have the manual skill and then you leverage the technology to enhance it, then, right. But without the manual skill, you don't really know how to use the technology to do certain things in a way.
But I think, maybe it's another long conversation with that one, but I'm just saying, like, when I see the students relying on it too much and they're not using their hands.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's the missing ingredient. Like, you use your hands on the digital world, but when you get your hands, like you're actually touching a board and really creating from that something on a bigger, like it's just it has to have a happy medium between both.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's a nice tool. I ain't gonna lie. Like the stuff I can pull off on that quite quickly, right? So
No, that's dope. Favorite city or country?
Ooh, favorite
or favorite place? You know, like where?
Always like going back home, like the UK, right? I love England. I love going back home. But place like that's on my bucket list. I need, and Randy keeps telling me I have to go to Ghana. I need to go back to London. Yeah,
okay.
It's one of them. It's on my list that I have to go.
Yeah,
so place.
I keep hearing that one too.
Yeah, I have to go. So I'm manifesting that one. That's dope. It has to happen.
Okay. And what about food?
Ooh, food.
Favorite dish or go to?
I'm a yard man, so I love my curry goat and rice and everything. But Thai food now, I'm raw, but I'm a little bit of a mixture of all that seafood stuff. Yeah.
That's cool. The curry goat joint.
Yeah, of course.
Last question, which I know you said you're a quote guy a whole bunch of times. So, word of advice or favorite quote?
Word of advice. I think what's missing in life now is to realizing your purpose and start living it, right? And that is a thing that you need to do some self-investigation in yourself, finding that inner child again. Find that fun, what that looks like, whatever that is, get back to that. I think the advice is that when you have that, it keeps you whole. But the same thing with that inner child, it may went through some trauma, whatever that is. But if you can find that wholeness within that child and just nurture that child again, right, and take care of it, because it'll take care of you. I think that we get so caught up in just trying to fit in that we're not trying to be different. There's nothing wrong being different. I think that's important.
Yeah,
in
unique.
the world. Yeah, that makes that imprint because you are unique, right? Instead of assimilating to what life is, right? I think we got to break away from that and just finding purpose in that. So that's my takeaway of giving. Let's find that child again, have some fun again. I think it's important.
Yeah, man. Good advice, bro. All right, y'all. Another episode, man. Mark Stoddart, he gave you the trifecta: artist, athlete, and activist. He broke down so many keys for us. I'm going to sign off. It's Kareem again, your host, Korea Currency, another episode. Stay tapped in, like, follow, share. Build your community. Give your people their flowers before it's too late. Call somebody that you need to call, reach out, get checked, right? Take care of your health and take care of yourself. All these things are reminders for myself as well. Mark, I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you just even saying those things,
appreciate you
man.
coming through.
No.
And this is, one of our first conversations, but it's the start of me adopting some of your
Appreciate that, man.
Your teachings and your guidance and your inspiration. And I just want to thank you for inspiring us all and your great work. And yeah, man, all the best, brother.
No, thank you. Wow.
You're tuned in to Career Currency with Kareem Perez, a podcast for people who are interested in unlocking their potential and increasing their professional value. Here's your host, Kareem Perez.